Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a third-year medical student at New York Institute of Technology, College of Osteopathic Medicine. And here's a little bit about me. First of all, I'm in my figs. Huge fan. This is one of many pairs. So I grew up with two moms who taught me the value of thinking about others, working hard, and making sure I found purpose in my work. Both of my moms each worked two jobs, one of them being a psychotherapist, so I knew what it looked like to work hard and have meaning behind what they did every single day. I knew I had to somehow find my purpose, but at the root of whatever I did, it had to be empathizing and connecting with others. Starting my freshman year of high school, I was part of the Inclusion and Diversity Committee. Before that, in middle school, I came up with an inclusive language training program for teachers so they could become aware of microaggressions against the LGBTQ community and ways to be more sensitive to their students. I continued that training with some of my college professors and then worked on the Title IX committee, doing a similar training for the staff. At NYIT, my medical school, I was part of the initiative to start a diversity and inclusion committee, which is still up and running. I was always set out to make a systemic change, and also on a more micro level, to connect with my classmates and help them and understand what they were going through. The irony behind all of this is that the class that pushed me to go into medicine was my high school psychology class. My teacher was passionate about teaching about how the brain influenced our behavior and vice versa, and I never realized science could be bridged with psychology in that way. I was excited and driven to learn more, so I just went for it. Pre-med in college was no joke, and I had so many mentors along the way who pushed me to be my best. I made connections in school with professors, researchers, guidance counselors, and I made sure to use my ability to connect with others to climb up the infinite stairs of that pre-med journey. I made it every day. I am so grateful and proud. I'm now in my third year of medical school, and I'm seeing how it's all coming together during my rotations. Over these past few weeks, I've been rotating at two different hospitals in Long Island, and there's a few stories that really stood out to me that I'd like to share with you. My first patient that I really connected with was a young man who was currently living in a homeless shelter. He was terrified of doctors, and I sensed that as I walked in the room. I asked him about this, and we talked. I learned about how both of his parents had passed and how he had a fear of getting the same disease that they had. I told him not to worry. I would make sure to explain to him everything that was going to happen and make him feel safe and feel heard. At the end of his time in the emergency room, he personally thanked me and told me I changed his perception of doctors and that one day I would be a good one as well. A few days later, I had a patient who came into triage saying she had a neutrophil count of 4 and she was terrified. She was an older woman who was afraid and alone. I listened to her story, I spoke with her family, and I stayed by her side. The next day, I went upstairs to the floor she was admitted to, and I held her hand. We spoke about how she danced salsa with her husband, who she said was in heaven, so I put on salsa and we danced. I was there when she communicated with her family about some of her last wishes, and again I held her hand. Medicine to me is a passion. It's a drive to be there for whoever comes through the door, to understand there's a person behind a disease and everybody has a unique story. I want to pay it forward to all the people who believed in me, and I want to be the change that I want to see in the world. Thank you for your time and consideration.